Hey guys, and welcome back to the Peteytown Piranhas College Football 26 Team Builder Dynasty. Today we got a couple of more MAC opponents, but in the middle of that we have a big rivalry game with Maryland. So let's see how we can handle ourselves. We have UMass coming to our place now, and they are at a 66 overall, but we've taken care of teams with higher overalls before. But they are 1-6. They are struggling this season, but we can't take them lightly, and we got to continue our winning ways.
Yeah, I think one of the big keys for him having that kind of day and that kind
Peter
of
Peterson drops back and finds Pete Dinklage on one of our favorite crossing routes. Our offense is looking at a 3rd down and 7 here. We're going to drop back and fire quickly over the middle to Pete Dinklage, and he gets it to their 44-yard line. We're facing another 3rd down here, but it's just 3rd down and 2. Peter Peterson drops back and looks, fires over there to Peter Boyle, who gets us a 1st down. The Piranhas are threatening here, and Pete finds a little lane, and he gets a nice 9-yard gain. 2nd and short here. We're going to hand off to Pete, and he gets by the defense, and he gets us to their 15-yard line. Piranhas looking to make a statement early. We're going to drop back to pass and find, who is that? Pete is going to score a touchdown. The Piranhas make easy work on their first drive to score that touchdown. Pete has been an absolute monster in the red zone for us all season long, and today is no different as he scores the first points of the game. UMass is going to hand the ball off, and they got plenty of room, and they get a 1st down by a mile there. UMass is in an empty formation, and they're going to see what they can get, but Peter Alonso makes them pay for that with a sack right up the middle. Nobody came and blocked him, and he was just free rusher to the quarterback there. Peter Alonso puts them in a precarious position here. They try to go with empty again on 3rd and 12. Our defense is going to give up the long pass play. They found a soft spot in our zone, and they took advantage. From the 31-yard line, UMass is going to hit their running back quick, and they ran right by our coverage there and gets it to 3rd and 1. On 3rd and 1, I'm expecting a sneak here from UMass, and they do it, and they get it easily. 3rd down and 6 from our 19-yard line here. They're going to try a desperation heave, and we knock it away. Nice play out there by Peter Lightning to force a field goal attempt. UMass puts the field goal up, and it is no good. He missed it wide to the right, so the defense gets rewarded with a nice stand there. A couple of Pete runs net us 8 yards, and we find ourselves on 3rd down and 2. We're going to send Pete Dinklage in motion. And we're going to look, survey, but he gets sacked. Just couldn't find anybody in time, and UMass is going to get us off the field. UMass has a guy in motion, and they do the jet touch pass, and he's going to have the edge there to get a 1st down. He breaks out of there a little bit and gets a couple of extra yards. UMass is trying to build on some momentum after getting that 1st down, but Peter Jack and Petar Guitar combine for a sack there to squash that momentum. Peter Jack has just been absolutely fantastic for us this season, rushing the passer. So that sack on 1st down helps us get it to 3rd down and 15. The Minutemen are trying to see if they can get it back, and we force a fumble on a sack, but they pick it up. And just a lovely play there by, looks like, Petey McGee, I believe. 3rd down and 4 for the Piranhas. We're going to drop back, see if we can find somebody. He finds Pete Dinklage open underneath, and he gets us the 1st down to keep the chains moving. We're going to do a little RPO slant play, and Peter Boyle breaks 2 tackles, and he's got Greengrass in front of him for the touchdown. And Peter Boyle with an absolutely incredible solo effort there, breaking 2 tackles and just giving us a nice 2-touchdown lead. So our defense managed to get a stop, but they had a beautiful punt that pinned us deep in our territory, and our offense couldn't move out of there. So UMass is going to take over again and get a nice pass completion over the middle. With 16 seconds left, UMass is looking to get into field goal range, and they're going to get closer there with a pass to the sideline. UMass has no timeout, so they're going to put up the field goal now. The kick is up, and it is no good again. Their field goal kicker misses his 2nd kick of the game, and we manage to keep him off the board once again. UMass is going to see if they can get anything in the passing game, but they will not, as Petey McGee and Pear Dare combine for a nice sack. 3rd down and 18 here for UMass. And they're going to drop back, see what they can find. They find a guy over the middle. Nobody's there to bring him down, and they've just found the weak spot in our zones to get a 1st down off of 3rd and 18. After that big pass completion, Peter Cottontail comes flying out of nowhere and combines with Pear Dare for another sack. On 2nd down and forever, UMass comes out in an empty formation. He's looking. We are closing in on him again. And he's going to go down once again, and that's Big Pete with the sack. 3rd down and a long, long way to go for UMass. We just got to keep them in front of us, not let them get to the sticks this time. And we are not going to do that, as Big Pete is going to bring him down, and it's not a safety apparently. Must have tackled him when he was still out of the end zone, but still, just 3 straight sacks from our defense puts to bed any momentum UMass was trying to get. After that stellar defensive stand, the offense is in prime position on their side of the 50, and we hit a nice pass over the middle to Pete Dinklage. The Piranhas find themselves here on 3rd and 4, looking to see if they can continue their drive. Peter Peterson's going to fire over the middle, and he's got a big completion for the touchdown. That's Pete Ackler with another touchdown in his young career. The defense gets UMass off the field yet again. Peter Peterson's going to find Pete Dinklage on a nice little out route, and he's going to get us a nice big gain. After the big pass play to Pete Dinklage, we're coming out in an I formation. Pete's going to go up the middle, get some blocks to spring him free for the 1st down. After a couple of Sir Peter runs net us 8 yards, we find ourselves on 3rd down and 2. Peter Peterson surveys. He's going to find Sir Peter out of the backfield. He runs a nice route to get himself open and get it inside their red zone. Threatening from their 7-yard line, we come out in I formation. Pete's going to run up the middle, and nobody's there for UMass as he gets the touchdown. And we go up 4 scores, 28-0 for the Peteytown Piranhas. With nothing else to lose, UMass comes out in the 4th quarter on a 4th down and 4. Deep inside their own territory, and we're going to get a sack. Pete Targatar comes in on a blitz, and they just have no answer for our pass rush today, and we're going to get the ball back to our offense. We hand the ball up the middle to Peter Peck, and he hurdles a guy, and he fights for some extra yards and gets us down to the 2-yard line. Piranha's threatening to score once again. It's going to be a read option, and we hit Pierre Pete for another touchdown. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and now I can say we're up 5 scores, as we're up 35-0. UMass managed to score a touchdown on their last drive of the game, so we didn't get the shutout, but it was still a dominant effort by the Piranhas out there today. Just excellent complimentary football. And just really happy overall with the performance from our guys today. Taking a look at the stats from our blowout, we had 388 yards to their 173. A lot of sacks led to -10 rushing yards for them, while we got 136 yards. And then our passing game was efficient with 252 yards. And on 3rd downs, we were 6 of 10, and they were 3 of 11. Peter Peterson distributed the ball excellently today with his 252 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He was only sacked twice, and he had a really nice completion percentage of 91%, so that's just extraordinary. Pete barely missed the 100-yard mark with 19 carries, 94 yards, and 1 touchdown, while Sir Peter came in and got a nice 5 yards per carry. Our pass catchers were taking advantage of opportunities out there, especially Pete Dinklage with his 8 catches and 89 yards. Peter Boyle had the big touchdown with the 2 broken tackles, and he added 4 catches, 53 yards, and a touchdown. And Pete Ackler had 3 catches, 35 yards, and that 27-yard touchdown. And we can't forget about Pierre Pete with his 4 catches, 26 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Of course, the defense really shined today, and Peter Alonso led the way with 14 tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, and 1.5 sacks. The defense combined for an outstanding 12 sacks today, led by Big Pete getting 3 sacks, Petar Guitar getting 2 sacks, Petey McGee with 2 sacks, Peter Alonso, as I mentioned, with 1.5 sacks, Peter Cottontail getting involved with a sack, and Per Dare and Peter Jack also adding a sack. And then Pedro Andreas got half a sack. And we didn't get any interceptions, but we didn't really have an opportunity to with all those sacks, so can't really be upset about that when we're getting to the quarterback so frequently. And while their kicker missed 2 field goals, our guy Steve P. hit his only field goal for 44 yards, and as usual, nailed all his extra points. The Piranhas have a really big test now as we go up against our rivals Maryland in the Peteytown, Maryland War. They're at a 75 overall, so higher than teams we've been facing recently. They're on a bit of a struggle as they're 3-7, but really can't underestimate how this team can perform on the field. And if we want to win this rivalry game, we're going to have to play at an A+ level. Maryland gets us to a 3rd down and 5 on our first drive. Peter Peterson's pointing out some checks to the guys. He's going to drop back and find Peter Boyle over the middle, who gets a big gain to get us close to midfield. 3rd down and 1 for the Piranhas. We got everybody tight. We're going to drop back, and he gets rid of it, but just before they can get to him, Peter Boyle makes a juke, and he's got nothing but green grass in front of him, and he scores the touchdown. Peter Boyle with a big play to start our rivalry game, and the fans are pumped up. They want to see us win this game against Maryland so badly, really announce ourselves to the college football world that we're here and we're here to stay. I realize I keep saying like green grass when we're on black turf, but I'm just so excited that I get carried away sometimes, so please forgive me. So after a game which our defense got 12 sacks, we come out against Maryland looking to do some more of the same, and we almost deflected away. Peter Alonso was right on that, but Maryland just manages to sneak the completion in there. Maryland has a guy in motion, they fake it to him, and we get the sack! We continue our sacking ways, and Peter Peters gets in there this time. He just bull rushed his man there and got to the quarterback. It's 3rd down and 11 for the Terrapins, and we're looking to snatch some momentum early in this game. And they're going to find their guy, and he's going to be right at the line, but they mark him just short, and luckily they're going to punt it away instead of trying to go for it. Pete Dinklage goes in motion. Peter Peterson's got some room if he wants to go, and he's going to go and get himself a big gain. Nice decision there from Peter Peterson. Empty formation here for the Piranhas on 2nd down and 4. Peter Peterson surveys, but their guy just gets right by Peter Falk for the sack and gives us a 3rd and long to deal with. It's 3rd down and 11 for the Peteytown Piranhas as we see if we can continue this drive. Peter Peterson's going to fire, and Peter Boyle makes the catch, but it's short of the 1st down. Maryland takes back over, and they hit their guy in the flat, and he's going to find some room and a 1st down. After a good run on 2nd down, Maryland finds themselves on 3rd and 1. They're just going to sneak it, and we stuff it. The Piranhas defense steps up once again to force a punt on Maryland. Maryland forced us off the field on a 3-and-out, and they find themselves in prime position at the 50-yard line, but Big Pete manages to get to their quarterback for a big sack. Oh my goodness, what a big play by the defense. Maryland was threatening to get into our territory, and Big Pete said, "No thank you." Maryland fights back from that sack on 1st down to make it a 3rd and 7. They're going to try a deep ball. Our guy is with him step for step, and he overthrew him. And we're going to force them on another 3-and-out. The Piranhas are facing 3rd and 1 after a Peter Peterson scramble. We're going to send Pierre Pete in motion, and he's got a contested catch to Pete Dinklage, who comes away with it and gets some extra yards to get us to the 44-yard line. Peter Peterson is going to find Pierre Pete, who makes a nifty little move there to get the 1st down. The Piranhas are feeling it now, and we're going to hit Pete Dinklage on an out route, and he sneaks by him for a 1st down. 3 plays, 3 1st downs for the Piranhas. We'll see what they can do with this new set of downs. Pete's going to make a nice little juke move and make that 4 for 4. 4 plays, 4 1st downs in a row. On 2nd and 11, we're in an empty formation. Peter Peterson's got some time. He's going to loft a deep ball, and it's complete! He got it to, who is that? That is, I'm not exactly sure who that is. That might be his first catch. That's Peteytown Galore, I believe. I don't know if he's made a catch all season, but he makes an absolutely sensational play there. Peter Peterson just lofts this one over Maryland. He makes the catch and just sneaks his way into the end zone. Can you believe the game the Peteytown Piranhas are putting together right now? Maryland on a play-action fake. They're going to find their guy, and they're going to get some momentum back. After the big pass play, Maryland is going to line up and hurry up. Their guy is going to get past the first wave of defenders and get a first down. Maryland is humming now. They're on the 32-yard line, looking to respond after that Peteytown Galore touchdown, and they're going to hit a guy over the middle. Maryland is in their goal line personnel. They're going to try the toss out there, and we can't get the edge, and they're going to score a touchdown to respond after the Peteytown Galore touchdown. But we're going to hit Peter Boyle on 2nd down, and he gets us a first down. At the 2-minute warning now, we find ourselves on their 36-yard line. Peter Peterson's going to hit Pierre Pete for a big gain, and he gets it to their 31-yard line. Pierre Pete provides a big spark for us as we take over from their 31-yard line. Peter Peterson is going to get sacked, though. Oh, no. Pedro O'Toole makes it a manageable 3rd down and 6 for us. Peter Peterson's going to drop back and fire, and he's going to find Pierre Pete again, who's been huge on this drive. 2nd down and 10 for the Peteytown Piranhas. He's scanning the field. He's going to fire, and Pete Dinklage is wide open for the touchdown. Maryland just lost our best receiver, our most productive receiver so far this season, and he's going to dance on him as we are managed to get a touchdown with just over a minute left in the first half. On 3rd down and inches, the crowd is going crazy as Maryland looks for somebody, and we're going to hit him, but he manages to get the first down. That scramble quiets our crowd a little bit as they're just under 40 seconds left. He's going to try a deep ball, and it's intercepted! Peter Cottontail comes out of nowhere to get the big interception, and we're on their side of the 50 with a chance to put even more points on the board before halftime. Peter Cottontail sets us up at the 44-yard line after that interception, and we're going to hit Peter Boyle for a short pass, and he breaks a tackle and gets himself out of bounds. On 2nd down and 3, Peter Peterson is going to look, and he's going to find Peter Boyle on a little out route to get the first down. 19 seconds remaining in the first half. We have all 3 of our timeouts, and we're going to hit Pierre Pete quickly over the middle of the field for a first down. Take a timeout, Petey Previtt, thank you. The Piranhas are threatening again with 14 seconds left. Peter Peterson's going to try and scramble, and he's going to slide down just before the first down marker. From the 4-yard line, we have a timeout left. It's 2nd down and 1, but the downs don't really matter at this point. We're going to hit Pierre Pete, and he's wide open, and he's going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. Peter Cottontail gets the interception that sets up our offense, and the offense and Pierre Pete take full advantage of that, and we go up 3 touchdowns against the Maryland Terrapins. Our defense opened up the second half with a 3-and-out, but our offense finds themselves on a 3rd down and 6 here. Peter Peterson's going to fire, and he's going to hit Pete Ackler, who breaks a tackle and gets us way past the first down marker onto the 47-yard line. Pete Ackler goes in motion on 2nd down and 10. We're going to hit Sir Peter streaking out of the backfield, and he gets us a really nice gain. From their 26-yard line, we're going to hit Pierre Pete on a nice RPO play, and he gets around the edge to give us another first down and gets it to their 10-yard line. From their 11-yard line, we're on a 3rd down and 10. Peter Peterson's trying to find somebody, and he's going to hit Pierre Pete over the middle, but this time Maryland manages to keep us out of the end zone. Steve P. lines up a kick from just inside our hash mark, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And we extend our lead to 31-7. The Terrapins are going to hit their back in the flat, and he's going to take it for a first down. Maryland's going to do a read option. He fakes our defense out of their shoes, and he's streaking away from our defense. And fortunately, Geeter Peter is there to finally bring him down. Maryland is on a 3rd down and 3 here. They're going to hand the ball off, and he's going to streak away from our guys. And Peter Cottontail fights him and doesn't let him get in the end zone. 1st down and goal. They're going to run up the middle and not get anywhere as Big Pete comes in to make the stop. Maryland is going to run the ball again, and we are there again. It's Geeter Peter, and Peter Peters there on the stop. Our defense is trying their best to make a goal line stand here. On 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, they're going to try a screen pass, and we're all over it. Maryland is not going to get into the end zone there. Their kick is going to go up, and he puts it through the uprights, but impressive goal line stand there by the Piranhas to keep it to a 3-touchdown lead. Our offense had a little momentum, but it stalled out, but we got a punt to their 3-yard line, and Maryland is now on a 3rd down and 6, trying desperately to get out of this situation. They send a guy in motion, leaving the backfield empty. Their quarterback is going to throw, and he's going to squeeze it just in between our 2 defenders there to give him a huge gain. Maryland has a fresh set of downs from the 37-yard line after a huge pass play. They're going to do a little fake and run with the running back, and he breaks a tackle and fights for almost 10 yards. 2nd down and inches. 2nd down and inches, and they get it easily. Maryland is interestingly trying to run the ball, and it's gotten them to a 3rd down and 3. And they're going to toss it out to their running back, who is going to be just short of the 1st down, and it's 4th down and 1. On 4th down and 1, Maryland is going to run the ball again, and they just manage to get it, and they break a tackle to make sure that they get it. Maryland has really matriculated the ball downfield, and they're on our 17-yard line. 3rd down and 6, but we close in on him for the sack. That's Petey McGee. Petey McGee flexes on him, and Maryland has a decision here to make. It's not really much of a decision. They kind of have to go for it at this point, but Petey McGee makes it a much more difficult task to accomplish now. Maryland hustles the guys back to the line after that sack. They're going to try a deep ball, and nobody's there, and the defense is going to get off the field. After that last stop, the Piranhas went out on offense and didn't do much, but our defense came back on the field, and they shut the door, and we get the 31-10 win against our rivals Maryland in what is so far the biggest win in Peteytown Piranhas history. I really can't overstate how proud I am of the Peteytown Piranhas as they went on to beat their rivals Maryland today, and doing it with a 3-touchdown deficit is just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, we got 404 yards of offense to their 325. Our running game didn't do as good as it usually does, but it didn't matter when our passing game put up 362 yards. And we held them to 5 of 13 on 3rd down while we converted 7 of 12. Peter Peterson, what more is there to say? 362 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times, but I mean, I am so proud of him for the way he conducted himself out there, just getting the ball to our playmakers and just being a real leader out there. Really, the only negative in this game was the running game with 13 carries and 26 yards for Pete, and Peter Peterson just 7 carries for 13 yards. Of course, sacks are added on to that, so that kind of brings it down a little bit, but he also did have a couple of scrambles that helped keep drives alive and things, so wasn't all bad from the running game, but wasn't really what you'd expect from us. Receiving wise, we got some big performances here with Peter Boyle getting 8 catches, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown. Pierre Pete had 6 catches, 99 yards, and 1 touchdown. Just big performance from our tight end in this one. Pete Dinklage, as usual, 6 catches, 52 yards, and that 1 touchdown where he was wide open. And then of all guys, Petor Galore, 1 catch for 22 yards and a touchdown. And him getting that touchdown really showed you this was going to be our game, because if he's getting open to make plays, then something's really working for us. Peter Peters with a big 16 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, and 1 sack in this game. And Peter Peters was joined by Petar Guitar and Petey McGee with 1 sack. And then Big Pete and Pedro Andreas each had half a sack. And that interception by Peter Cottontail was huge for us. That really gave us the momentum we needed to really blow the game wide open. And he's been just a very consistent player for us in the back end all season. And Steve P, as usual, he hit his only field goal attempt for 23 yards. And he hit all his extra points. Another great positive that came from our win against Maryland was that it gave us 7 wins on the season, so it clinched a winning record for us in our first season as a program, so we love that. And it also really guarantees us a bowl game, because 6 wins makes you bowl eligible, but I've seen on this game before where you can get to 6-6 and still not make a bowl, so 7 wins really puts that where we're going to most definitely be in a bowl for this first season. Following that win against Maryland, we got a matchup with Bowling Green. They're at a 67 overall, and all I'm hoping for is that the Piranhas don't lay down and fall into the classic trap after a big win and come out with no effort. I want to make sure that we're focused and ready to go and really take this thing home.
Last game we saw. Yeah, I think one of the big keys for him
on our first drive, we're going to hit Pierre Pete out there for a nice 8-yard gain to set up a 3rd down and short. On 3rd down and short, we're going to drop back and fire it quickly to Pierre Pete once again. On the bubble screen, we got Pete Dinklage out there for the 1st down. On a bubble screen, Pete Dinklage is there again to make the catch. On an RPO play, we hit Peter Boyle quickly for the 1st down. The Piranhas are clawing their way to their opposing territory, and we hit Pierre Pete on a nice pop pass as he's opening the game with just being very involved in the offense. We get a little play action pass, and Pete's going to make the catch and the 1st down. From the 14-yard line, the Piranhas are going to set up here, a run to Pete who gets it up the middle, and they corral him before he can get across the 1st down marker. 3rd down and 2 from the 5-yard line. The Piranhas are going to drop back to pass, and he's going to throw an interception. Bowling Green just steps right in front of that. Peter Peterson didn't see him there, and Bowling Green is going to force us out of there with no points to show for it. Bowling Green was past midfield on us, but we managed to force a punt on them. And our offense is taken over, but Peter Peterson is sacked. It's 3rd down and 13 here for the Piranhas, and we're going to drop back. Peter Peterson is going to find a wide open guy there on a corner route. That's Pete Dinklage. Peter Peterson's going to find Pete over the middle of the field and gets it to 3rd and 1. After that completion to Pete, the Piranhas are 3rd down and 1. We're going to drop back. They had a guy streaking, but we throw it, and we manage to hit, looks like Pierre Pete there, and he gets us across to their 38-yard line. 2nd down and 3 from the 31-yard line. We're just going to hand it off to Pete, who makes a nice little move to get him some extra yards and get it to their 22. Petey Previtt is feeling bold here on 4th down and 2. We are going to hit our guy, looks like Pete Dinklage there, who just stopped on a hitch route to give Peter Peterson the window he needed. 2nd down and 4 from the 5-yard line. We don't have to get into the end zone here, but that would be a nice result, and we're not even going to get the pass away as they take down Peter Peterson for the sack. Petey Previtt is going for another 4th down on this drive, feeling very bold, and we're going to hit. Oh, sir, Peter had the ball in his hands, but they just managed to pop it out, and we're going to turn it over on downs. Bowling Green is going to gash us up the middle for a huge gain to get themselves out of trouble. They're going to try a screen pass here, but Peter Alonso is streaking towards the running back and not letting him get anywhere for a 3-yard loss. 3rd down and 13 after that great effort from Peter Alonso. Bowling Green's looking. Can't find anybody. He's going to step up. Nobody there to cover him. And he's going to get the first down easily and into our territory. Bowling Green is feeling themselves now, and they're going to hit a guy over the middle. He breaks our tackle and fights for a first down. Bowling Green hits another pass over the middle that we don't have an answer for. From the 24-yard line, Bowling Green is threatening now. We're going to try a play action. He's going to hit his guy, and Peter Lightning stops him before he can get anywhere else, but not before the first down. With the 2-minute warning, Bowling Green's got a fresh set of downs from the 12-yard line. We send in heavy pressure, and they pick us apart for that touchdown. So our offense manages to get the ball deep into their territory twice, but we come away with nothing, and Bowling Green takes advantage of that to take a 7-0 lead. So for the first time in a number of games, the Peteytown Piranhas are finding themselves down on the scoreboard, and we're going to start this drive with a nice completion to Pete Dinklage for a first down. Peter Peterson's looking to see what he's got. He's got a Sir Peter on there, and he's got a big gain to get it to their side of the 50-yard line. Peter Peterson's got a nice post route to Pete Dinklage to get it inside their red zone. From inside the Bowling Green red zone, Peter Peterson throws a terribly ill-advised pass. We usually get those out routes open, and Peter Peterson tried it, but Bowling Green was all over it, and we have the second interception of the game from our quarterback. Thankfully, the clock is going to run out. And for the first time in a while, with the 7-point deficit, I'm going to have to step into a game. So let's see if I still remember how to do this after a few games break. We're going to get them down for a 4-yard gain. Penalty makes it 2nd down and 11 for Bowling Green. They're going to try to hit us with a quick pass, but we're all over that to bring them down for a loss. 3rd down and 12, really needing a stop here. Their guy is going to float it, and it's going to be incomplete. Knocked out at the last second by our defender. Thought for sure he was going to catch that one. And I get a nice run with Pete up the middle as they couldn't cover everything and forgot about our running back. Going to see what Peter Peck has here. Let's get some nice blocks, and he gets lit up, but a nice 8-yard gain. Pete squeezes through. He gets a nice block, but they do catch me from behind. I'm going to keep it with Peter Peterson here and slide down safely for a 7-yard gain. Looks like we might have the middle of the field open, which is what I want to attack. They filled that hole a little bit, but we managed to get the first down. With the day Peter Peterson's been having, I'm kind of content with keeping it on the ground here. And Sir Peter is going to find the cutback lane for the touchdown. And for the first time in this dynasty, I actually managed to tie the game, which is what my, responsibility is when I step into the game. So that's nice for me, I guess. With the game tied back up now, I hand it back to Sim to see what we can do here. Bowling Green is going to gash us up the middle once again and get a first down. They do a read option, and we fall for it, and they get another first down. They're going to go back to the run, which has worked for them, but Peter Peters is there this time to take him down for a loss. 3rd down and 12, really important drive here for our defense, and they're going to find a guy open on a crossing pattern to get it into our territory. From the 42-yard line, Bowling Green is going to try a goal line toss, and they're going to get outside, and they got the block. He's going to get around our guys, but thankfully we can take him down with Peter Cottontail. Bowling Green does play action, and he fits it into the window, and they're going to score again. And I'm going to have to come back in again to try to tie the game once again. Pierre Peak gets wide open on the peak flat play, and they knock him out of bounds, but not after a very solid game. Going up the middle so much, I'm going to try a stretch play with Pete here. Blocks kind of line up, but can't get outside for that guy. We get an 8-yard gain. I want to get him on a streak, but it's not letting me. We're just going to get a drag and get it out to him for the easy completion. Don't know why it wasn't letting me do a streak there, but it is what it is. See if we have the numbers for another running play. We do. Get solid blocks. Pete's going to spin around that guy and get us to the 14-yard line. He's having a really nice day. 3rd down and 9. We're going to see if we can get Pete Dinklage on a little drag. He's going to get open. He's going to get the first down, and he's going to break all 3 of those tackles and get into the end zone. Pete Dinklage is an absolute monster. Oh my goodness, what an individual effort by him. I was just ready to get the first down, and he had other ideas as he broke the tackles of 3 guys to get into the end zone there. Let's watch that again. Makes the catch. La-di-da, get to the goal line. 3 guys can't bring him down. Unbelievable effort from Pete Dinklage, who's made incredible plays for us all season long. So I tie the game again and give it back to Sim again. And this time they're going to run up the middle, and very much like last time, they get a little gash up the middle. We enter the 4th quarter with a 2nd down and 2. Bowling Green's going to drop back to pass. He's got nothing going, and we collapse in on him for the sack. Pear Dare and company in on that sack. So the defense has a big 3rd down and 6 here. Bowling Green's trying to keep their drive alive, and they will with a slant. They've been beating us with those slants and quick routes all game. So similar to the last set of downs, we're at a 3rd down and 6. Bowling Green's going to do a little pump fake, throw it deep, and they complete it to their guy, who makes a contested catch in the middle of the field. 2nd inches from the 39-yard line. They're just going to run and gash us. And he fumbles, and they recover it. 2nd down and 4 from the 15-yard line. Bowling Green's going to drop back. He's looking for his options. He's going to throw it over the field, and it's intercepted! Oh my goodness, he just took that ball away from their receiver. That is Pete Pistol out there making the absolute biggest play of the game for us on defense. Oh my goodness, I thought that was a touchdown for sure. I thought he had it in his hands, but Pete Pistol just ripped it away from him for the interception. We come with a heavy I formation look here. Peter Peck has the opening, and he's going to juke his way to a 1st down to get us out of that really hairy situation. From the 12-yard line, we're going to do an RPO, and we're going to hit Pedro O'Toole for a 9-yard gain. 2nd down and 1. We are going to hit Peter Boyle, who's wide open, and he's going, but there's a flag on the play that I just saw. It's going to be on us, and that's going to wipe away the absolute huge gain from Peter Boyle. After that penalty, we're facing a 2nd down and 6. We're going to do a pop pass, and Pierre Pete is there to make the play and give us the fresh set of downs. Come out here in a pistol formation. Pete gets it, and he splits the defense right up the middle and gets us another 1st down. Just over 4 minutes remaining. We're going to drop back, and we're going to hit Pedro O'Toole on a drag route, and he takes it for another 1st down. We come out in an empty formation on 3rd down and inches. Interesting play call. And we are going to hit... Who is that out there? It looks like Pete Dinklage makes the clutch catch for us to get us a 1st down and more. From the 22-yard line, the Piranhas come out of the 2-minute warning, and Sir Peter makes a big play. He breaks a tackle, and they take him down just before he can get in at the 2-yard line. 1st down and goal from the 2-yard line. The CPU sim has been struggling with the red zone today, and Pete gets just a 1-yard gain. We hand it off to Pete, and this time the offensive line pushes him forward, and Pete can dive into the end zone for the go-ahead touchdown. After that incredible 98-yard drive by the Piranhas to take the lead, the defense comes out with something to protect now. Their quarterback is able to scramble up the middle, and he's able to slide down at the 32-yard line. Bowling Green's going to set up a screen pass, but Peter Alonso is all over their running back there to take him down for a loss. Here we go. The game comes down to this for Bowling Green. It's 4th down and 9. They're going to drop back to pass. He fires it quickly, and their guy makes the catch over our defender, and they keep their hopes alive. Bowling Green had to spike it on 1st down, so it sets up a 2nd down and 10 from the 50-yard line, and they're going to hit their guy on a quick out route and make it 3rd down and 1. 3rd down and 1 from the 41-yard line. Bowling Green's just going to hand it up the middle, and they got it. And he gets a little extra yards after the fact. Bowling Green had to spike it on 2nd down, and they have no timeouts, and that sets up a 3rd down and 2. They're going to drop back, looking, seeing what he's got. Fires it deep over the middle. He catches it over our guy. And we were all over him in coverage, but he manages to bring it in. 12 seconds left. It's 2nd down and goal for Bowling Green. They're in empty. They're going to fire there, and their guy is wide open for the touchdown. Bowling Green is going to go for essentially the win here on a 2-point conversion. They're going to drop back, looking, dropping back, and we're going to get the sack to stop them on that. Big Pete with the biggest play of the game to stop their 2-point attempt. Oh my goodness, what a huge play after the disappointing drive led up by the defense for the almost game-tying touchdown. Big Pete makes the play of the game. Oh my goodness, what a play by him and the defense. Bowling Green's going to try the onside kick. It gets by our guys. Nobody's there, and Bowling Green is going to pick it up. 10 seconds left. No timeouts for Bowling Green. They get a miracle onside kick recovery. They're going to look and fire it deep. Their guy is wide open. We're going to bring him down, but the clock is running. It's 3. Run that clock, please. Run it. Run the clock. 2, 1. They're not going to get it in time. And the Piranhas are going to survive. The final score is 21-20, and the Piranhas absolutely escape with one. Oh my goodness. So many clutch, so many big plays here for the Piranhas. Pete with the go-ahead and ultimately game-winning touchdown there. And oh my goodness, what a absolute, like, that would have been a heartbreaking loss if we had lost that one, but thankfully the stars aligned and we were able to escape with the win. That game had all the signs pointing towards a trap game, and it certainly was, but thankfully somehow the Peteytown Piranhas did not fall into the trap as we survive and escape with a 21-20 win. The total yards were very close, 460 to their 434. The running games were very close, 172 yards for us and 2 touchdowns, while they got 167 yards. And of course, passing-wise, 288 yards to their 267. And 3rd down conversions, they actually converted at a higher clip than we did. And we also lost the turnover battle, but we had the key timing with our turnover, and oh my goodness, I'm still just trying to catch my breath after that one. Was it the best game in the world for our quarterback? Absolutely not, but he had 288 yards, 1 touchdown, and those 2 early interceptions that really put us in a position where we had to fight and claw our way back into it. We had 2 sacks, or we gave up 2 sacks, and even despite all that, he almost completed 90% of his passes again, but just, my goodness, Peter Peterson, what a roller coaster of a game for him. The absolute star and stud of the game was Pete with 21 carries, 132 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then Sir Peter even got in on the action with 4 carries, 28 yards, and 1 touchdown himself. For our receivers, Pete Dinklage was all over the place, making big catches when we needed them with 8 catches, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown. Pierre Pete was big once again with 7 catches and 91 yards. On defense, Peter Lightning had 8 tackles and 1 tackle for a loss. Sacks, we didn't really get many, but Pete the Cat, Pear Dare, Petey McGee, and Petter Better each got half a sack. They're not crediting Big Pete with a sack on that 2-point conversion, but that we all know that was definitely the play of the game. Right behind Big Pete's 2-point conversion sack for play of the game was Pete Pistol's interception in their end zone, which really allowed us to take the lead after that with our offense. But I mean, just an absolutely ferocious play by him, just taking the ball away from their receiver. This was definitely an emotional roller coaster of an episode, as we had that big rivalry win against Maryland and then the last second sweating bullets victory against Bowling Green. But your Peteytown Piranhas are riding high on an 8-game winning streak, and we're hoping that can carry us into the MAC Conference Championship. But first we gotta finish our season with our last 2 regular season games, and then we'll see where we're going from there. So I'll see you guys in the next video.